Hey, this is Dr. Cherokee, and this video is going to be about some things I wish I knew or taken more seriously as a new mom or a mom that also happens to work. Now, this first piece of wisdom comes from an interview that I saw from Michelle Obama, and that is, don't move away from home if you can help it. As a mom, especially a mom that has a job and that works too, it's so important to be around people that you have a village, you have a support system. Of course, if you and your husband after college or whatever, you get a job, you decide to move to a new state and form your own family and yada yada, cool, but just know that you're starting from ground zero. Even if you find friends in your church, your local church, or colleagues at your job or whatever, you make friends, it's still going to be a long time before you can actually trust those friends to say, pick up your daughter from daycare for you or watch her on the weekends a little bit while you and your hubby have a date night or something. Like, that's the kind of village that you need, this kind of support that you need as a new mom. And a lot of times going back to your hometown where you have cousins, aunts, uncles, sisters, grandmas, grandpas that can help you out is really one of the smartest things to do as a new mom. So just heed that warning. That's a piece of advice from the former First Lady. This one is for my ladies who are highly educated. Maybe you got your master's, your doctorate, etc. You got a nice job. You did everything that your parents wanted you to do, you set out to do. And then you have a baby, and then you realize, wow, I kind of, love this experience. I want to stay on maternity leave a little longer, yada, yada. But then, maybe you're making six figures or you're up there in salary and you're like, man, I can't really walk away from this. Like, this is a good salary that I can use to support my child. But I really don't want to go back to work. I really don't want to work. I want to be a mom. I want to be this. And let me tell you, that's hard. I mean, work started feeling like a burden. But I think that's why having a flexible job is key. Having a job that is remotely interesting or a passion or something you like to do is key. And of course, having that discussion with your partner about whether or not stepping down is a good decision or not. But I guess I really wish I understood more that how after being a mom, work to me can kind of feel like a burden, and it's less about having to find the best and dream job and more about how can I find a job or be in a job that's flexible so that I can really take time to be a mom like I want to be. Another thing I wish I knew is that you have to have a sleep schedule. Oh my goodness, this is not the area to listen, get all the classes, get all the courses, read all the books, take all the advice and do it, because oh my goodness, my daughter's almost 2, and sleep is the one thing that I just have not been able to catch up on. And it's because her sleep schedule is crazy. It's because of me. I haven't stuck to one and really made an effort to just push through and get it done. So sleep schedule is king. So a lot of people say that breastfeeding is hard, but I really wish I understood the gravity or the brevity of what they mean when they say that breastfeeding is hard. I mean, your boobs are not your own anymore. They look different, they hurt, they're sore. I literally couldn't wear, a bra without the nipple covers because it would just leak milk. I honestly was at a place where I was like, I just want my body back to myself. I feel so used up. And it was very hard. So breastfeeding being hard is not always just about, having to figure out how to handle all the breast pump and pumping enough milk and your supply. But sometimes it's just really this mental battle of I'm still sharing my body. I'm still giving my body. This is still a lot of work. So I wish I just was more ready for that mental capacity that comes with breastfeeding. And I wish I could have done it longer had I really taken the time to mentally prepare myself. Moms, this one is, it requires work to get back to looking like and feeling like yourself. So when you first have a baby, everything's all wrapped up in them. And then you kind of forget about, your hair, your skin, your clothes, your weight, your body. And it's kind of hard to just get back into the rhythm of all the little things you used to do. I used to have wash days on my hair, and that's just something that I can't really do right now when I have a little one running around vying for my attention all the time. And so, like I said, it just requires work. Make new routines, buy new clothes, get different skincare items, have a different routine, but you have to make the effort to do it. Your baby can take over your life, but you have to remember that being yourself and feeling like yourself does require some work. Something else I kind of wish I knew as a new mom is that feeding babies is different. I mean, once you get past the they can only have milk phase, then you get into, you know, the mushed up food phase. Okay, but after that, there's just kind of this in-between stage where they can't quite eat the food off your plate, but they also don't want the mushy food anymore. So it's kind of like this, like, you need to chop up food, and like, it's just weird. And it was hard for me to figure out, because first of all, if you don't already cook every single thing you eat, it's hard to figure out, okay, how do I dice this just in a way that she can pick it up with her fingers and eat it, but it won't choke her because it's soft. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it. So what I would say, I actually ended up using a meal planning service, and just for this weird, awkward phase time, because again, the food has to be cut in a certain way so that they don't choke. It has to be soft enough. You have to give them the right nutrients, the right amounts. And so I ended up using something called Nurture Life, which I'm not sponsored, but literally that got me through that awkward phase of baby feeding. So yeah, feeding babies is different. This one might be a little hard to hear, but honestly, moms are spread thin. Even if there's a dad in the picture, a husband in the picture, moms still do a lot of the hard work. And I think that just knowing this up front will just take away a lot of frustration. So I'm just letting you know now, even Michelle Obama herself said that a lot of times when you're raising children, it's not 50-50. I mean, and there's a lot of things and reasons, and I'm sure if you're listening to this, you probably kind of get all that on your own already. You have your own examples, but just know and understand that moms are spread thin. It's not always 50-50. Something else I wish I knew as a new mom is that you should not isolate yourself. And I mean that, say you're the first sibling to have a kid, or you're the first in your friend group to have a child, or, you know, and you feel like, oh, nobody knows what I'm going through, and you kind of isolate yourself. I get that, but in a lot of other ways, those friendships and, you know, family, siblings, relationships that you have can keep you feeling sane in other ways, can keep you feeling like yourself. So it is great to make new friends and try to make new mom friends, new married friends, and things like that once you get to a new place in life. But don't isolate yourself from the ones you already have. Being the first is daunting, but it's not impossible. So another thing I wish I knew or took more seriously as being a new mom is that, like, you're raising a whole human from the ground up. And there are some things that we just do. You're not going to sit there and try to give your baby a dissertation. They model more than anything. So I started going to the library and reading more, and all of a sudden, my daughter she got books with me, and she wanted to read. She'd give me books and hand them to me and tell me to read it to her over and over all day. If I started cutting up fruit because I wanted to eat more fruit and things like that. And all of a sudden, she was trying new things. Now she eats a whole half a banana by herself and things like that. So a lot of things are less taught and more modeled. So I would say, you know, when you have a baby, you got to get your habits in order so you can help them grow. And I guess the last thing I'll say about something I wish I knew more about being a new mom or took more seriously is that you and your husband or your partner are going to have conversations. I mean, being a parent just takes so much out of you. It sucks a lot of life out of you. It's life-giving, but life-sucking at the same time. And so you and your husband are going to have a lot of conversations about, how are we going to raise these kids? What day are we going to set for date night so we can actually still talk to each other and date each other and love each other and not just make our whole lives about kids and working? How are we going to divvy up these chores? Because I have to do this and this and this and this, which is a lot. but you can help with this, and this. Can you own that task? Can you do it without me having to remind you? You know, things like that. Which, by the way, there's a book called Fair Play by E. Rodsky that's great. It's called, it's really good. It's been helping me and my husband. More to come on that. But just know that you and your husband have this new bundle of joy. Yes, it's great. It's beautiful. But y'all gonna have to do a lot of talking and communicating, and it's only going to get worse is the wrong word, but there's gonna be a lot of communicating in the future. So that's something I wish I knew more as a new mom, or took more seriously. These were just some things that I really wrote down and that I was really contemplating on. I really wish that I had taken these things more seriously, and just some things to know, because everyone has advice, everyone has lists, but these are the things that as a new mom, as a mom that works, that I really wish I would have been able to take more into consideration, and that I'll start to incorporate more now. So hopefully this helps you. If you have any more questions or any more tips you want to add to this, go ahead and put it in the comments and let me know if this was helpful too. And like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to. I'll be doing more videos like this. And thanks, have a great day.